YouTube! What's in the bag? This will be a bit of a combination video. I do know sort of what this is, to be honest. It wasn't really listed when the guy told me it was, but it's got warman Texas triples fitted to it, so it should be a Strat, I'm thinking. So basically that's what I'm going to do. Apparently it's got Armstrong pickups in it, and the guy reckons they're too vintage, so he wants some a bit more pokier ones. He asked me for recommendations. I said, well, we'll have a look at warmans. So these are not called Texas Hots or whatever they're called, but they're called something like that. Warman pickups you can't put down. Please take note, once the pickup has no refunds can be given. Fair enough, because you've chewed it up. Okay, so we've got these have staggered poles and cloth wire on them, because as we know, cloth wire sounds better. Of course it does. Yeah, so what kind of guitar is it? Besides it being a Strat. Also, the guy mentioned something about the volume pot been not working properly, so I might have to buy pots for it. So I'm going to test it and make sure they work rather than put the new pickups in and then get it together. I mean, so it is a Jim Reed. Oh, with a lipstick pickups in it. Maybe that might be something to do with why it's not got the sound he's particularly wanting, because lipsticks don't sound the same as normal pickups. Right, do I have a strap? Even though I'm only playing it for 2 seconds, I'm going to put a strap up. Yeah. Great thing about buying those Roto Sound strings is you buy 3 sets and you get a free strap, so I have so many straps flying about. It's great. They do squeak a bit, but I think once I get a bit older. Right, okay. So we're on. So if I plug this in, give it a quick tune, and then we'll see what it sounds like. And then see if there is something wrong with the volume pot. He's also, the guy's also asked if he needs a treble bleed circuit on it. So a treble bleed's a funny one. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Scott was talking about it. It makes sense to me why you would want one, depending on what your rig is, because it makes your guitar sound the same if you turn the volume down. I kind of use the between 9 and 10 sound as being a bit more gainy and stuff, rather than just being a bit quieter. So I kind of use the volume control a bit. I don't really know what this guitar is. Where it says Jim Reed, it kind of looks like the way it says Antoria on the Antoria. So is this an old 70s Japanese thing? It's kind of hard to tell. There's a 2-piece neck. Looks like decent tuners. The volume control does seem to die. There's no noise in it, but it's kind of... Everything's in the last one. I think this might be an alpha pot. Might be a tone control pot, which is why it's... Seems alright. It is actually quite quiet, I'll give it that. It's got a really thin neck on this guitar. I'm going to put the rat pedal on just for a second, but this is the volume it's at just now, so when I do the next part I'll not touch the volume control, so with the same volume I'll put the warman pickups in. kind of like these pickups, to be honest. Come on, rat pedal. I've ordered new switch for it. But I can see why somebody wouldn't like it if you're looking for... You're not going to be playing Iron Maiden on this, you know what I mean? Right, so the volume control is going to have to get changed. It's the wrong value. But what I was thinking with we was talking there about the treble bleed thing. I might actually put it, depends what pots I've got. I might have a push-pull pot, which means I could put a treble bleed on a push-pull pot, which would kind of be interesting. I kind of want to do that on one of my own guitars to see whether I like it or not. You know, like, just like, so it's like, oh, I just don't like this treble bleed thing. You can just pull the volume pot up and it turns it off, just to decide whether it's actually a good thing or not. Yeah, so I need to look up Jim Reed guitars. I've no idea what it is. Obviously it's been replaced with these lipstick pickups, although they're not actually lipstick pickups because they're not cylindrical enough, because they're obviously original. The reason they were called lipstick pickups is because Dan Electro, there was a lipstick manufacturing company across the road, and that's where they actually got the cases to put pickups in, were actually from lipstick stick things. Whereas these are obviously made to be pickups. They're not complete, basically cylinders with a pickup slid in the middle, which is what the original ones were. Actually, I've actually got one lipstick pickup, a warman one. I don't think it's actually in a guitar just now. Need to find somewhere to put it, somewhere interesting. That could go really well with one of those Gretsch P90s, actually. Yeah, so this will be getting turned into a bit more of a rock axe. I don't know whether can I be bothered. I might put the camera in my head and film it. I don't know. I've actually talked 7 minutes, not even done it yet. So I might. I recently found out I can do a fast forwarding thing, so I might do a bit, film it, stick it in my head, because I'm going to take it to bits anyway, and then just fast forward through that bit so you can see all what I did. Righty, so here we go. Going to take this to bits. Probably quite a lot of fast forwarding during this. There's not an awful lot of fun to be had from watching me take this off, but I'm using my trusty string winder. I'm just going to knock these strings down to about yawn loose. And wouldn't it be nice if I could take the scratch plate off without having to completely take the neck off? It does have an overhang on the 22nd fret, so I'm not super convinced that's going to happen. I think this is quite a modern guitar. I wonder if the guy's name's actually Jim Reed. Could be. This is one of the modern Chinese necks. I know because I bought some of them when I was in China. So it's not quite as orangey as they normally are though. Right, and then I've got my box with all the screws I'm going to take out. There's an extra washer in there which I'm going to throw away because it doesn't come out of this guitar. Oh, here we go. So wouldn't it be nice if the scratch plate came off on a winner without having to... I could use the drill for this, but for the amount of time it takes, it's nothing. I think this neck, I wonder if this neck is a new part, because these screws are quite vintagey looking, so I'm wondering if it's been, it's a body from something else, and it's had a new neck fitted when it got its new lipstick pickups, which do look really cool, but they do have a lower output, so depending on how stratty you want your stratty to sound. Everyone seems to like the Texas specials, which I think the warman ones are just a straight copy of. To be honest, there can't be that much in it. So I'm just going to slide out without me having to take the neck off. The answer to that is no. So neck's coming off. guitar has been at with the wrong size screwdriver at some point. All the screws are just a little bit off. Well, it's been hacked out. Put the neck back on again. While we're in here. Don't really need to put all the screws in, but just put them in a bit. It means the guitar will sit flat. Right. So there we go. So we have cheapy looking pots designed by Armstrong. As they are, yep. So basically I'm just going to take this all down. Now, how do I put my soldering iron? My seat. Got it, right. So I'm actually I'm going to take off the output jack. That'll give me some more space. I don't need the guitar body in the mix anymore. And I'm going to take off that volume pot, see what kind of volume pot it is. But it's I'd imagine it's an alpha, and that's why it's got that slightly strange output on it. So if I just take that off and take basically, so here we go. Where's my pointy thing? Yeah, so there's the earth wire coming from the bridge from the back. So it's made of a mahogany body by the looks of things. I wonder why it had to be chopped out to take these pickups, or maybe just slightly bigger than the previous ones. Yeah, and then there's the output there. So the shield from the jack socket's going to the back of the pot, and then it's going to there. That's fine. It's exactly how I would expect to do it. And then in this case, the red wires from the pickups. And so these pickups have got two wires coming out of them. You've got the shield, you can see there, and then you've got a red and a white, which would be the start of the coil, and the reverse, the end of the coil, which is because they've got metal covers, they'll be earthed. So they'll be earthed onto this the shield wire. Yeah, about 400 odd. Just need to wait for my soldering iron to heat up a little bit more. I'm just going to disconnect. I might just cut that off depending on how easily that solder melts. Take these pickups out, put the new ones in, and then I'll stop talking for a bit while I fast forward through all this bit. I don't know what speed it went up to. I'm just thinking if I just melt that there. So I'm pretty sure this pot's going to have to come out and get replaced anyway, so I might as well take everything off it. One, and then I'll take off the internal line. That's be disconnected from the jack socket. And then if I take off this, I'm disconnected from the air from the back of the guitar. Like that. So now I can ditch the guitar. Right. Now we're on to pick up. So I'm just literally going to take off all of these wires. This is what I'm going to do. The wheel stuck on that one. I'll just leave that. I'll do it there. Then I guess I'll pull these off. Go into the pickup switch. 1, 2, 3. And there's the pickups. Now disconnected. I'm not even going to bother disconnecting them from each other because they're all joined together with the earth wire, but it's not going to make any difference, is it? Right, so am I just going to cheat and use the drill to take these out? I think I will. 1, 2. Oh, and there's the bit where you burn yourself. I've never actually burnt myself on the actual soldering iron, but I've realised I have been heating up the back of that pot for a couple of minutes. And obviously I just touched it with my hand, so I didn't actually burn myself. But that's the thing, if you've been holding a soldering iron onto the back of a pot for a couple of minutes, hot enough to melt the solder on it, it's still going to be hot 30 seconds later when you accidentally touch it. Put these on the box so I don't lose them. Keep them as original as possible. wonder if he wants. I wonder what he's doing with these pickups. Not that I've got a guitar that I particularly need to put them in, but I'm sure I would find one. Need to be a vintagey type guitar. Right, so Kent Armstrong lipstick pickups, which I'm sure are very good, but as we said, they're a bit thin weight. Right, so there's still one wire on this. I will pause this video when I go and search for a pot. We'll see what thing we're looking at here. I'm expecting this to be alpha pot, not a beta pot. And there is no description on it of what it is. So we're going for a B250. Right, I shall pause this till I find a B250 pot then. Will I? I need to do it anyway. I'll put the pickups in. Where are they? I had them a minute ago. Yep. Warman pickups. You can't put them down, but also you've got to pay a bit of attention. Yep. I'd imagine these will say on them where they go. This one says bridge on it, so I'll put this one in the bridge position. See, it's got these don't have the magnets stuck on the back. We've got like the magnetic poles, which means something. Does it mean it's I can't remember, but make it mean it's Alnico, or it's not a fridge magnet on the back, basically. Hey, so I'm back. I found a 250k alpha pot, beta pot. It wasn't as easy to find as I thought. This is from the Hello Kitty guitar, this one. So it's been in a guitar, but it's never been used. So I'm going to start off by just connecting the output of the switch to this. I'm just going to cut this wire short because there's too much extra shite added on there. I'm just going to do it methodically, the way I would normally do it. If I didn't have a camera stuck to my forehead. Let's just go to the lug 3 of the volume control. Notice I'm putting, like I always say, putting solder onto the wire before I try and connect it up, and it's going to lug 3, which is the input to the volume. There. Like that. Solid. The way these two tones were already working and both connected, so they were sort of fine. I don't really want to do anything with them if I can avoid it. I'll add this earth wire, even though it's not really required because it was there anyway. And will I cut that one a wee bit shorter as well, make it a bit neater? Might as well. While I'm in here, yes, I think the reason the volume control wasn't working very well is because it was an alpha pot, not a beta. Beta for volume, alpha for tone controls. One of them's logarithmic. I can't remember which way it is. I think beta's the logarithmic one. Yep. So that's the tones. Ideally I would probably snip these wires as well, but I'll just leave them in. Can't be bothered. One of the things the guy asked me to do was to put a jumper in to make the bridge tone control work as well. So this tone control controls the bridge pickup and the middle pickup, and all you have to do with that is just to join that terminal to that terminal. So I will do that. I'm not quite ready to do it yet though, I don't think. Right, so I'm just going to go for these and assume the black is the earth. So if I'm, well, yeah, will I be a wee bit clever and put a little bit of thingy on that, a little bit of heat shrink to keep that together, or a wee bit of tape. A wee bit of tape, I think, yeah. Just keep it so it's easier to put back together again. Just put a wee bit of tape on there, because that will just means when I'm trying to put, mind you, it's already been routed out, so it should be it's not going to do any harm. It's really just a cable tidy more than anything else. Like that. Right. So the earths are all going to there, so I'm just going to cut these to that length. Earth 1. Earth 2. Exactly the same length as that one. 2. Earth 3. Very short one. Just to go to there. Leave me some black wire. I'll be able to charge money for that later on because it's the cloth covered wire. It's obviously more vintage correct. Turn that one, turn that one, turn that one. Now, if I'm going to be a little bit fancy with this, how can I wrap these round this to make it a bit more? Not really. I just want to just put them on. Put that one on a couple of times, maybe put them together. Stick them all together and put them all on like that. Right, I'll try and do that with the left hand, which is obviously not a good idea. Can you do these things left-handed? Soldering, it's great fun. You try to stick 3 things to the same bit. That's good. So, earth wires all connected, relatively neat looking. And I will utilise my, right, so the white is the neck pickup, so we don't know where that one goes yet. We do know the blue is the middle though, so if I wrap that round there, would that make it a little bit neater? Good, yep. So we know that the blue goes to the middle because it's the middle pickup coming out there, and you've got 3 terminals here on the switch. There's a pointy thing there. So you get 1, 2, 3 in output, and then 1, 2, 3 output. So I will use the multimeter to find out which way is bridge and which is neck, but the middle one's the middle one. So this goes to the middle terminal. Stupid cloth wire. Naughty fan. Take it, I can't just burn that off with a lighter, can I? That'd be handy, wouldn't it? If I could just put that, would that just melt if I burn it? Kinda. Kinda. Goes on to the middle lug here. Perfecto. Middle lug. So if I get my multimeter out, which is down here, I'll switch that switch to the neck position. I could probably tell you exactly which one it is without actually having to look at the thing where I can, because I know that that there is the middle and that is the neck. So this is the neck position here, so this is the one that will give me a reading. See? And then that's the bridge, so it won't. So that's the neck. I know that because these go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So neck tone control, neck thingy. Again, I'm going to right back brush around this a couple of times, make things look a little bit cool. I want to go around from this side actually. Around there. Try again. There we go, there we go. It's not really worthwhile cutting the end off that, but I'm going to do it anyway. As I said, this one goes to this terminal here. Good. And that means the other one to be the yellow one. Which again, I'm going to wrap around this a couple of times just once like that. And that goes to there. And that's the Strat wired. The one other thing I was asked to do was to do that wee jumper cable from there to there. So if I just use a wee piece of anything, just going to jump this to this, which will mean that the middle tone control will control the bridge and the neck together. It's not a difficult thing to do. I'll get more than that off it. And if you don't like this idea, then you can just snip this wire and it will go back to just being the same, the usual tone controls, what you expect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to solder this wire. Right, and then I'm going to solder it across these two. This one. And I'm just going to snip that off. So we've now got the master tone control, or the, not the master tone control, but these two are now two joined, so these two go down here and go into this tone pot, this one goes to this tone pot. And there's your three pickups going into 1, 2 and 3, coming out of there, going into there. That's going to be the output, and then the earth from the jack socket's going to there, and the earth from the inside of the guitar's going to there. And I've got some holes. I'll give myself some wire. Right, so guitar back. No idea how much of this I'm going to end up fast forwarding and stuff. What the connections and that like. Kind of look alright. Yeah, so it looks alright. That looks a bit shit. Maybe give that a wee bit of a clean up. It's not the original earth wire either. This is a replacement from it at some point. And I've lost the solder, and I have lost the solder that is there. If this was mine, I'd probably give it a bit more of a clean up in below, but bit of quick wipe, but it's not really, I wasn't asked to do it, it just takes time, doesn't it? When we're in here, let's make it so there's a bit less shite. I would do that, it's just to clean up there, I would tidy that up if it was mine, but I'll do this one. Right, so the earth wire goes onto the back of the pot. Did I just solder that? Did I imagine I did that, or did I actually do it? I did it. So that just goes onto the back of the here quite easily. One, and then the output comes from the centre of this pot, like that, and then that goes onto the earth, anywhere on the earth, doesn't really matter. Output soldered. Yes, so there we go, that's the guitar wired with the new warman pickups. Got power. Neck pickup. Middle pickup. Bridge pickup. Volume control much better now. Nice gradual. It's not losing everything in the first 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to put the screws back in the scratch plate. More fast forwarding coming up. Okay, so I'll see you from up there in 2 seconds. Hey, I'm back. So it's now got warman triple, can't remember what they're called, Texas triple, something like that, pickups on it. I've not actually tried if it's working, so if it doesn't work you probably won't ever get to see this bit of video. So neck pickup. Volume control's much better. Middle. Bridge. It's not in tune anymore. It was the G. Don't like being bent. No, I can't remember what this sounded like before. Still sounds quite stratty though. guitar's pretty spanky actually. I wasn't asked to do any. Just the action's not that low. It just seems a bit. Oh. Okay, I can see the problem now. I'll need to adjust the height. This string is lower. The D string is lower than all the other ones. That's why it's buzzing. Rap it all! Crappy switch. Turn the rat on, just can't turn it off. Yep, so I'm just going to adjust this, that string that's a bit low. I didn't say I was going to do a setup, but that's not really a setup. That's just, that string's a bit high and that string's a bit low. Could do with a could do with a setup. But the guy's an old pro, so I'm sure he knows exactly what he's doing. And the strings are also a bit old as well. Just slightly on the spanky side, this guitar. It's also got a very, very thin neck on it. So hopefully, when I had the camera on my head when I was wiring it, it showed up, and I'll utilise my fast forwarding technique for when I'm doing the boring bits. So edit this afternoon, possibly put it out tonight. I've got a backlog of half a dozen videos to put out, so. And if anyone knows what a Jim Reed guitar is, never heard of them. But I'm guessing that this neck I'm going for because it's got it's got sort of mother of pearl type dot inlays, so that the Chinese necks you get, which are often very orange painted, have those in it. So that's why I think it's either a new neck or it's a relatively new guitar. Rockin', catch you later.